Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bring your skills to the table. Not talk, not noise, not fable. Bring your skills to the table. If you ain't got that, you're unstable. Bring your skills to the table. Not talk, not noise, not fable. Bring your skills to the table. If you ain't got that, you're unstable.
Spent any time on chess TikTok, you've probably come across a guy who plays with clarity, with confidence, and zero fear of the board. I want to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, Tacticalcabal. Tacticalcabal, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Um, what I respect most about this guy isn't just his strength, it's the intent, the way he explains his ideas, the way he owns his style. And I was genuinely hyped when I saw him casually roll out the Mengarini in one of his games, like it was just another day at the office. That told me everything I needed to know. So today I've got him here, not just to talk chess, but to open the hood and show us why this opening works. You know, who it's for and what it says about the player behind it. My brother, welcome again. Um,
Thank you.
I just wanted to sort of go back. I think we were chatting before the show started about how I followed you for a while. Followed you for a while on Chess TikTok. You're one of my, one of the people that I really enjoy your content. I try to borrow a few things from you, you know, um, and I just love the way you break down the game. I love the way you explain carefully and clearly. You communicate to your audience, your thought process step by step. In fact, I I kind of learn certain things from from how you sort of explain your games. And the day you pulled out the Mangarini, I was like, oh my god, this is a cousin of the Wing Gambit, and the Wing Gambit is one of my favorite openings. I use this in Blitz and I use this in Bullet, and you showcased it. I thought it was in a very, very beautiful way. You won the game, and I thought, man, I need to learn this opening and find out how it differs from the Wing Gambit, other similarities. I feel like because they're so related, um, I could probably learn it fast. But for the benefit of the audience, I'll let you I'll let you go ahead and explain. Can you take us through a game that captures the spirit of the Mangarini?
Okay, thank you for the intro, Mr. Komega. Thank you for welcoming me to the show. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite openings. If you have been following my page, you know we all love the Mangarini. And why do we love it? It's because it's a very rare opening, and a lot of opponents are not prepared against it. Like they don't know what to do because they don't face it every day, right?
Mhm.
So I've actually been able to beat 2600 in
Wow.
on the board tournament in Blitz, yeah, using the Mengarini.
Wow.
So yeah, this December, yeah, I went to a tournament and I was able to beat a 2600 player using the Mengarini. So that says the potential of the
We have to look at
opening.
that too. We have to look at
Yeah,
that.
unfortunately, I don't have the PGN of that game. I wasn't recording at the beginning, but yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But anyway, we have a lot of interesting games.
Okay, so before we dive into your games, I thought maybe we should go through what the Mangarini is and show the people the opening itself. So if you could just talk us through that would be helpful.
Okay. So the Mangarini starts with a e4, and they respond with the Sicilian defense,
Mm-hmm.
and then you play a3.
Yeah.
So when you play a3, the most common move here, Sicilian players, they want to develop their knight to c6. So
Yes.
knight to c6, and then you push pawn to b4, right? Sacrificing a pawn. Most people are not familiar with this opening, so they just take. Once they take on b4, you take back with your a pawn, and then the knight takes. And what this gives you is an advantage to quickly develop and gain control of the center. By using c3, they'll bring their knight back to c6, and then you play d4. As you can see, black has 3 pawns in the center, c3, d4, and e4. And now white, sorry, this is white. Now black has to find a way to develop. The most common move here is to prevent your advancement to d5. So they're going to play pawn to d5, and you take the pawn. They'll take back with the queen, and now you play a quiet move, knight to a3. The idea behind knight to a3 is to get your knight to b5 and fork on c7 and win the queen. But of course, they're going to see this. Here, the most common move is, I mean, they can play a lot of moves, but the main line is just, developing their knight to f3.
To f6?
Once they develop their knight to f6, and then you play knight to b5. Knight to b5, now they see the idea of, you targeting c7.
C7.
They're going to move their queen back to d8. And once they do, it is very important here to play d5, right? Put pressure on the knight on c6. You would see why in a couple of moves.
Yeah.
If they take the knight, so from knight takes on d5, you take with the queen, and then if queen takes, you can fork on c7 and win the queen back. And now they can no longer castle, right?
Yes.
So let's go with that example. So knight takes d5.
Yes.
Queen takes d5. Then the queen takes d5. Knight to c7.
Knight to c7 check.
For example, if the king comes to d7, you take their queen, and they will want to, chase out your knight in the center. Let's say e6, right?
Yes.
Then you can also just fork again on b6. You see that? You see how you're winning pieces?
Oh, this is amazing.
So
yes.
But again, it's not every time this is gonna happen. Let's go back to the position where you play d5. So I don't know if you can adjust the board to the move 10 where you play d5.
Move 10,
White plays
right.
d5. So they will most likely just retrieve the knight back to b8.
Okay.
And now you bring your bishop to f4.
Ooh.
Bishop to f4, targeting c7. You see the knight and the bishop coordination on c7.
Yes.
The only way to defend c7 is to play knight a6. So once they play knight a6, you sacrifice the rook on a6. They have to take, and that knight comes out to c7, checking the king. And this is also very important. You just want to win the rook, whereas that's not what you're doing. They would just say, okay, I can just move my king to d7, and all of a sudden, queen a4 is checkmate, right? If they don't want to be checkmated, they have to sacrifice their queen. So that's the main line. Another line here, if we can go to move 6, right?
6.
Once you play strike in the center with d4, right? Another move I've seen opponents play is e6, right? Preventing you from pushing, but you still push d5 anyway. Push d5, e takes d5, e takes d5, targeting the knight on c6. Now the most common move here is knight to e7. Knight to e7, trying to reroute the knight back to maybe g6.
Or f5.
And now you push the pawn to d6. And now when they move their knight back to g6, you can give a check on e2. Queen check on e2, they have to block one way or another, and then you're up a piece. So these are the two main traps I wanted to show in the Mengarini, and we're going to show some games where I used it to crush the opponent.
Wow. Thank you so much. This is amazing. This is amazing. I think the move order makes it a bit trickier than the wing gambit.
Are you still here?
I'm still here. And we're here. So
okay, okay.
So this is the first game that we want to showcase. This is Tacticalcabal against Pranay Kumarajak. I hope I didn't butcher that name. But yeah, could you talk us through this one?
Okay, sure. So the game started with e4, and they go with the Sicilian. Of course, we respond with the Mengarini, which is a3, b4. They play knight c6, which is the most common move. We play b4 right away. And they accept the gambit. We take back on b4. Knight takes on b4. Then we start our expansion in the center. c3. Knight goes back to c6. And now this is all, what I've shown before in the e7, which is a mistake. And of course, we pounce on that piece. Now his knight goes to g6, which is expected. A good move here is just, queen e7, and he has to block with a piece, and then we win a piece and, just continue the game. But in this game, I wanted something more than just winning a piece. I saw that if my knight goes to a3 and goes to b5, there's nothing stopping the knight's trajectory to c7. So I played knight a6.
Knight a3, rather.
And my opponent created some space for his king on f7 by pushing f6, pawn to f6. Here I saw that I could still go knight to b5, go ahead with my plan, because my opponent, I had seen that if it goes to f7, my bishop to c4 will really hurt the king and there's no way out. So here he went knight to e5. Blocking, the idea of that move is to block my bishop for c4 after the check, right?
Yes.
And I had seen this, so I gave him that check on c7, knight check c7. He moves there, he moves to f7, which was the space he created. And I give him another check, and he escapes to g6 here. Here, the move I played, knight f3, you might be thinking, why did I play knight f3, right? It's to open up the g file. So I want him to take. If he takes, I'm removing one of his defensive piece and also opening up the g file. So if, for example, knight takes f3, pawn takes f3, open up the g file, and the rook gets in the attack. And, the more pieces you can add to your attack, the better it is and the stronger the attack. Here, my opponent played h5, which is reasonable because he's also creating some escape squares for the king. On h7, I took the knight, removing the defender of the closer to the king. It took back, and now I bring more attacker to the, I bring more piece to the attack, which is bishop to d3. Here, my opponent went to, there's no other move. He just went to f6, and then, believe it or not, queen f3 is just checkmate. So this is to show you how brutal and how quick Mengarini can win you the game. You see how all the escape squares are covered and the opponent had nothing to do here.
That was amazing.
So that's the first game.
That was amazing. I would have gone for the free piece initially.
Sorry?
Personally. I would have just gone for the free piece, small advantages. But I think Tacticalcabal is like an artist who, is not satisfied with the simple stuff. But this is great stuff, and it's tricky. Have you ever played an opponent who refuted it?
Yes, of course. I've lost some games to, playing the Mengarini. But those games that I lose, it's because they didn't play the main line, and one of the easiest way to refute this opening is that once you go a3, planning to go b4, they go g6. So it's like playing the dragon variation of the Sicilian.
I see.
So yeah, once they play g6, planning to their a dark square bishop, then you need to play d4 directly. D4, the knight f3. Just play normal. Don't go with the b4 again. So that's the mistake I make. If they go g6, I usually go with the same plan, and it usually ends bad. I've won some games like that, but yeah, most of my losses have come from g6.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll look at the next game. Okay, so we're looking at the next game, which is Tacticalcabal with IBAP. This is an even shorter game. Do you want to talk us through this one?
Yes, thank you. This game is a short game, which shows the potential of the Mengarini once again in how your opponent can get in trouble real fast. So the game started with e4,
Yep.
and I played. Sorry, the opponent started with the Sicilian, which is c5. I played my Mengarini special a3. They develop their knight to c6.
Yep.
Push b4. They take their separate gambit, and now I push c3, right? Chasing out the knight. Knight goes back to c6, which is very typical. Controlling the center with d4, very nice pawns. And now he plays into the main line, which is d5. I take on d5, queen takes on d5, and I go with the preparatory move, knight a3,
Yes.
right? And in this position, my opponent played queen e4. He threw in a intermezzo, he threw in a check, right?
Yeah.
Checking the king. There are different ways you can block this check, but in this game, I blocked with the bishop, knowing fully well that if he takes on g2, my bishop can hop into f3 and chase out the queen, and I can continue with my plans, right? Okay. So here, it continues its development because, of course, it's in the opening. You want to get your pieces out as quickly as possible. And I put knight to b5, going for the same idea on the c7 square. How does he defend this? He moves his king, very smart king, right? And I continue my development on knight f by placing my knight on f3. The problem with king d8 is that whenever the king moves to that square, the knight threat on c7 can be renewed on f7. For example, knight g5 and then knight f7 will also win the other rook. So I went with he pushes e6, trying to develop his bishop.
Dark bishop, yeah.
And now we go knight g5. Knight g5 with the threat on f7 to win that rook. And now my opponent thought he could just take that pawn, not knowing that, taking that pawn will be the end of the game, because after he takes on g2, I just played bishop to f3, and the queen is trapped. The queen can't go to h3 because it's covered by the knight, and there's no escape square for the king and for the queen. The only way is to just, take the rook, sack the queen, and then bishop takes, and we're up a piece. And we're still going to win the other rook by forking on f7. So this was a very short game and shows how you can trap the queen using the Mengarini.
Amazing, amazing game. We have one more game to look at. This is Tacticalcabal versus Filatov Alex. Do you want to talk us through this one again, TC?
Sure. So in this game, I forced a resignation out of my opponent using the Mengarini once again. The game started with e4, c5, and I activated the Mengarini by playing a3. Of course, they developed their knight on c6 as usual. Play b4, accept the gambit, takes, knight takes. We push c3. These are all the main lines, and control the center with d4.
Yep.
And now he pushes d5, which is the main move. I take, queen takes on d5, knight a3. And here my opponent played another great move, which is e5, challenging the center. But again, the one thing about the Mengarini is that you just continue with your plan. I played knight to b5, going with the same idea of threatening that c7 square, and my opponent has to respond. In this case, he responds with bishop to d6. It's a good move. I mean, I could have played bishop to c4, attracting the queen to c4, and also checking or forking both the king and the queen on d6 with knight takes. But I played something else here. Okay. I continued my development, and he takes on d4. And now I see the whole idea. I didn't see the idea before, but now I see the whole idea of deflecting the queen to c4. That's why I put my bishop on c4. If queen takes, I fork knight takes on d6 and winning back the queen.
Winning the queen.
So here my opponent played queen e4, which is reasonable. And here I had seen a tactic, which was what motivated my next move, which is bishop e3, playing like the magician of Riga. right? Of course, we're all inspired by Mikhail. I'm sacrificing my bishop because I had seen that I can sack my bishop on f7. If king takes, his queen on e4 can be forked with knight g5.
Mhm.
All right, knight g5 forks f7 and e4. All right. So here, my opponent, of course, he saw that. He just moved. And also, I'm still threatening d6. So it's a lot of threats.
Mhm.
And now my opponent just prevented me from capturing on d6 by retracting the bishop to b8.
To d8.
And
Knight
now I
d8, sorry.
went for the sacrifice. Of course, if you take the bishop, you're going to get forked on g5. So he refused to take. Oh, he took. Sorry.
He
So
took.
he took, and then, we played the idea behind the sacrifice. And after queen to g6, we capture the queen. After king to g6, we capture the queen.
Yes.
And he takes my bishop. I take back and castle. He developed his other knight, then I castled here, bringing the rook to the attack and also cutting off the king from the f file. Very important move. And now he develops, now he's trying to get all his pieces and connect his rooks, but it's a little too late for that. And we just rerouted the knight back to the center where the action is happening, also threatening to take on e6.
On e6.
And how does he prevent this? He went for the attack, which is I played queen g4, attacking the king, and the only square he has is h6, and yeah, queen g5 here is checkmate, but my opponent just resigned.
Of course.
So that's another game showing you how dangerous the Mengarini can be, and how you can quickly gain lots of advantage and put your opponent in lots of pressure, and just destroy them.
Tacticalcabal. This is a showcase. This is why I enjoy watching your games. It's the sheer ingenuity, the daring, and the excitement of the games that you play. This is not positional. This is just pure tactics. And I don't know why, but I feel like there are more opportunities for traps in the Mengarini than there are in the Wing Gambit. When I play the Wing Gambit, my mindset is this: I want to throw the opponent off his game, off his theory, you know, and sacrifice material, which is pawns, for activity, for initiative, for development. But there are no concrete. I'm not looking for traps. I'm not actually setting traps. I'm just trying to gain advantage in space, advantage in time, and compensate for the loss of material that I give out in the opening. But it seems that with the Mengarini is a very deliberate, very specific type of um, game, and I find that fascinating because the only difference between the Mangarini and the Wing Gambit is the delayed b4. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think?
The Wing Gambit is similar to Benko Gambit. I was looking into the Benko Gambit. But it's a black's perspective when they go, right? I think so. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, the Wing Gambit started with b4. You're inviting that pawn to take right away, and then once I think you go a3 after that, right?
Yes.
And then you go a3 and they take. The problem with that is they have not developed their knight to c6, I think. I mean, it's also very good because you're exchanging your wing pawns and you have the open a and b file to utilize for your attack, and you get quick development.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you didn't allow them to develop their knight. Why I think the Mangarini is a better choice for me is because it allows them to develop or give them that false sense of development that, okay, they're developing in the opening. And then once they take the pawn on b4, which is very, very tempting. And once they do, they find out that, oh my goodness, you already have all the
I'm in
center
trouble.
play. They're in trouble. Yes, exactly. And they want to push d5. They want to prevent you from pushing forward. And after that, again, they don't see the knight a3 coming. Even if they see, okay, knight a3, what's your plan? Some people try to prevent knight b5 by going a6, but again, that doesn't prevent it
It
because the
doesn't.
a5 is open. So you can still play knight g5 because if they take, you take their rook. And
Yes.
that knight d5, b5 is very important because of the open a file that you've opened, and just putting pressure, and they're just gonna fall because they have never seen something like that before.
It's super effective. You know, it's super effective, and it's. I think this is your signature. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this is your signature opening. It's in the same spirit. I mean, your name is Tactical Cabal, and you know that it's a double barrel. I remember Cabal from Mortal Kombat. I wonder if that's where you got the inspiration for the name.
No, no. I played Mortal Kombat 11 and I used to use Cabal, but my main was Raiden and Scorpion.
Oh,
But
okay.
I know how to use Cabal as well.
Cabal.
But
How
that was not the
that was not
inspiration.
the
Yeah.
inspiration. Tell me the inspiration for your name, for your for your title.
I mean, it was when I was an undergraduate in OAU,
Hmm.
Obafemi Awolowo University. We formed a cabal, just a
I
group of
see.
guys that
I
just, and
see.
it wasn't even about chess. It was just about something else. But yeah,
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. And when did you
yeah.
start playing chess? When did your journey start?
So I started playing chess. So I learned chess in 2014 and started playing actively in 2021 or 2020. 2020 to 2021, I started playing actively, but I learned in 2014.
Okay. And when did
And
you
when I
find
learned,
out? Yeah.
sorry?
I was going to ask a follow-up, but please continue. Don't let me interrupt.
Okay. So when I learned chess in 2014, I was an undergraduate. I was in 200 level, you
Hmm.
know, and I just fell in love with the game because there's so many possibilities, and you have to use critical thinking. And I love mathematics. Those of you that know me from OAU, I love mathematics and applying that calculation, anything that has to do with critical thinking, problem solving. I love it.
Yeah.
So it's the same idea in chess, and seeing the amount of combination, the amount of beautiful play you can create on the board is why we love the game. And of course, you're going to be addicted to chess at a point in your life,
Yeah.
right? And I got addicted at that time in such a way that during my classes, I would play. Me and my friend would play blindfold. We'll be seated in the lecture room, and while the lecturer is explaining the course or the course title and everything, we would hold the paper and a pen and we'll start playing chess with paper. So, for example, I'll play e5. He will respond by writing his own move. So we'll just be visualizing the board. So,
Wow.
yeah, from there, that's crazy stuff. But yeah,
But even that, you know that is a very powerful way to strengthen your powers of analysis, you know? I think that's
yeah,
crazy, and that is probably part of the reason why you have a solid foundation in the game. You know, you've been playing for a while now. 2014, you know, is what, almost 11 years now.
yeah.
When did you find out that your style was Tal? Your style was tactics and, you know, just chaos. When did you find out? When did you know? When did you discover yourself?
As you keep on playing chess, you kind of develop a style. Some people like some positional grind. Even as a 900, you can be a positional player. You just find out that you like close position, looking for strategy, looking for create weakness creation and all those things.
Hmm.
But I find out that I thrive more in open positions
Okay.
because I love beautiful play. I love Maker Tiles games. It motivates me. I'm like, how can somebody create such beauty on the board?
Yes.
So it motivated me, and then I I'm an attacking player, of course, so I love to attack because I love to put people in uncomfortable positions
Uncomfortable positions.
and crush them, and but yeah, so just being able to, as I get stronger, I see the I see more combination, more beautiful ways to attack, and that has no refutation. So this stuff are what inspired me and motivated me to keep on playing.
Hmm.
And what brought me into streaming is because when I look at my games, I see that, oh, this is just so beautiful. I can't wait to show the world this kind of
You
game.
say it
Like
a lot. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you say it a lot when you play. When I watch your videos on TikTok, when you play a
mm,
beautiful move, you say it yourself. You say, "Oh, that was beautiful," and I love it. I love it because we need to affirm ourselves, and it's the truth. It's just simply the truth. Sometimes I just see, you know, and I can follow the whole thought process, and it's beautiful to see it unfold. Okay, if he does this, I'll do this. Okay, I'm playing this because of this. You know, and that's something that I think I need to, I think I need to learn and incorporate in what I do as well, because I really enjoy it. Um, because what we do, people are tuning in to watch your games. They're tuning in to learn, you know, and for the folks that are watching who are still sort of early in their journey, what would you tell them about, okay,
Sorry,
for
what?
example, trusting their instincts and how to not sabotage themselves, but to still create beautiful things on the board?
It comes with a lot of practice, practicing tactics. And the good thing about online chess, so right now, the two main websites we have, which is chess.com and Chess,
Hmm.
is that they have a lot of resources that you can tailor to your own advantage. So, for example, on Chess or even chess.com, I think you can tailor the puzzles to what exactly you want to work on. So, if you want to work on sacrifices, you can go to the puzzle theme and just filter it to sacrifices and just work on sacrifices, so that you can start applying it in your games, because if you can solve it in puzzles, you can visualize it, then you can incorporate it in your plans, right? So
Okay. Now that's sound advice. I've actually seen you in some sessions, live sessions, where you're not playing games, you're actually doing puzzles, you know, and it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, you do them, you do like a whole series, and it's like you want to do it within a specific time frame. You want to make sure you complete as many as possible or something like that.
the one you're talking about is a puzzle. I think there's so many puzzles section on chess.com. Okay, there's a puzzle battle, puzzle rush, and daily puzzle, custom puzzle. So the one I do when I'm streaming is a puzzle rush,
Mm-hmm.
right? Puzzle rush is such that they start with an easier position,
Mm-hmm.
easier tactic, maybe like a 700 elo puzzle, and
Yes.
then if you get that correctly, they'll move you to 800 like that.
Okay.
So you keep on going and walking people through those thought process as the puzzle gets harder. I feel like people can learn a lot of ideas behind tactics and how to find tactics.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, one last question. Who are your three favorite Super GMs today? Current players.
Current players. Current players, of course, Magnus because of his domination.
Obviously,
I think that,
obviously.
yeah, I think I like Arjun Erigaisi. They
Okay,
call him the
yes.
Indian madman or something. He's also a very crazy, crazy guy.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, Arjun Erigaisi. Then who else has that crazy attacking style? Honestly, I've not studied enough of their games, like the way I've studied like Mikhail Tao's games or Bobby Fischer's games, right?
So you're more
So
into the classics.
yes, I'm more into the classics like Kasparov. I even need to study more Kasparov and see how he was able to, and that's another advice to people that want to learn, above the intermediate level,
Hmm.
is checking old grandmasters game, how they handle openings. You can even learn openings from them. Just
Yes.
seeing how you can also filter that. It's on chess.com, grandmasters game. Pick one of your favorite grandmaster, check out their games, filter the openings to what you want to learn, and just see how they respond to each move. Try to analyze and learn from them. That's how I started playing the Benoni defenses because of the way Mikhail plays it,
I
and
see.
I'm doing well with the Benoni.
Oh wow. I would love to play you sometime. I'd love to play you sometime on either Chess or chess.com. We should try and make that happen sometime.
For sure, we
Honestly.
will.
This is the kind of chess conversation I love. No posturing, no dogma, just ideas, intent, courage on the board. And your slogan, it's just tactics, chaos, it,
Sacrifice squad.
the sacrifice. Yeah, the sacrifice squad. I really love it. If you're not already doing this, please follow Tacticalcabal. If you're not following, you're missing out. It's not just strong chess, but honest chess, exciting chess. Many people think chess is a boring game, but not when certain people play it. Not when certain people, do their thing on the board. Um, Brother, thank you so much for pulling up. I would like to have you again, at a later date. I know you're busy, but whenever you can, I'd really, really appreciate it. Yeah. I enjoy talking chess. I enjoy talking chess with you. and I'm going to continue, following you on your pages, on your platforms. It's Tacticalcabal on TikTok, and it's the same thing on Instagram as
YouTube.
well. And what
Yeah.
about your YouTube page?
Same
Same
thing.
thing,
Same name across
Tactical
all platforms.
Cabal, and it'll be in the description. Please follow. Let's just play some exciting chess. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let's know in the comments. Mengarini or Controlled Madness.
Mengarini.
We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.